Three systems that a new Lost Ark player will come in contact with, which is actually very important, are going to be Transcendance, Elixirs, and as well ability stones. Luckily, Transcendance is now very easy, so we're going to go dive into the other two because I think they probably need a good guide. A reason why I don't think that Transcendance needs a guide is because this is just a click and go mini game. You just go ahead and press the button, and if you get 3 stars, you get 3 stars, and if you don't get it, you just reset and try again. But Elixirs are in a whole different ballpark, same with ability stones. First off, the sources of getting elixirs, so you can get yourself them from Ivory Tower, which is a raid. As well, if you go to the solo mode exchange shop, you can go to the share reward, and at the bottom you can see there's 3 elixirs there as well. There's more elixirs to get from events, and the last place where you can get them is by buying them from other players, because if you go over here and craft item, you can see you can craft yourself different elixirs. And if you look at this one, this is the raid reward, but if you look at the other one, you can see you can use these materials to go ahead and craft yourself elixirs. If you need more of them, you can just go to the market and just buy more from other players. You can make yourself sadly only 20 a week, so if you're chasing those perfect elixirs, then you're probably gonna have to craft them every single week as well. So for elixirs, you're gonna have to ask yourself the question, how good are mine and what stage am I at? If you're a brand new player, you're gonna have to catch your first base set, so that means you're gonna have to get yourself your first set effect, which is probably for DPS is gonna be critical or master, and then for support you're just gonna grab yourself luminary because it gives cooldown reduction on your spells. Once you've got those sorted out, then of course you can move on to the other line. So for example, for support, it's sadly only going to be base rolls like intelligence on the chestplate and the shoulders, but the legs, for example, has an ally enhancement effect. And for DPS, it's going to be crit damage mainly, and it's going to be boss damage on the shoulders. The body, once again, just has some base stat rolls. So now you know, based on your own progression, what kind of things you should be aiming for. And you may be thinking, is it even worth to go for a double roll? Like, why would I even do that? Like, I have my level 5 boss damage with some stagger increase. Do I really get myself a weapon power or anything like that? Here we have a handy dandy cheat sheet which is going to help me explain, of course, how good the elixirs are. And we can see right here on the right, it's going to be my elixirs. These are 5/5s, means like I can go ahead and put, for example, attack power, weapon power, strength, dex, etc. And then on the left, it will show me my damage increase in total. Keep in mind, normally a percentage of damage increase is actually quite expensive. It can go for like 100, 200, maybe even 300,000 gold. So keep in mind how much damage increases actually is for free, which you have to keep in mind. So let's just say that you're gonna get yourself the best roll attack power on every single piece. So keep in mind, we're starting off at 91.05. 91.05, and you're gonna get yourself attack power as your secondary roll on everything. Look at that. We get ourselves like 6% free damage. 6%, that is a ton of damage. So do not underestimate elixirs. A lot of people are like, oh, my damage is actually pretty bad. You look at their elixirs, they do not have secondary rolls, so keep that in mind. So of course you may be wondering, what is the best roll? Because there's 3 of them. So attack power is the best one, then it's going to be strength, dex, int, because you see right here, if I go ahead and put it down on all of those, we're going to go down to 96.9. So it's not that big of a difference between attack power. But if you then go to web power, we go from 96.9 to 96.9 to 95.8. So you're losing like a 1.1%, which is a lot of damage, guys. Don't forget that all these things add up eventually. But of course, it's better than getting no roll. So now we know it's going to be attack power, dex, dexterity, int, all that kind of stuff. And then it's going to be weapon power as the lowest stat for your secondary roll. Okay, so now we know what we know our main roll. So we want to go like boss damage, or we want to go a set effect. And then that's when we know what our secondary rolls are going to be. So now you have your elixirs, and what should you do? In my opinion, your priority is going to be first getting the base set effect. So if you don't have yourself like level 5 boss damage, if you don't have yourself level 5 crit damage, you're going to go for these rolls first. It doesn't matter what your secondary is, but once you have these, then we're going to start building and getting it better. So now, of course, we're going to look at our elixir. We have every elixir comes with a preset of rolls, and you're just going to look at what these rolls have. So for example, this one is a crit damage, so we can roll this, and it already has a weapon power, which is pretty awesome. So what we're going to do is we're going to add an attack power on top of that, and then we are ready to go. So what you should always think about, you want to try to get as many free points as possible, and that should be your priority. I noticed like if you look at this one, you can see this one is useless. In the middle, it says crit damage will be affected. So you may be like, oh, maybe I just choose this one because it ups my crit damage, which I want. No, because this one on the right actually gives 3 different enhances in one turn. turn. So that means it can hit crit damage, but maybe as well have weapon power, attack power. So let's see what happens. Of course, we can get it lucky, and it is what it is. But if we hit at least 2 of these 3 options, we're actually pretty good. As you can see, we did. We hit ourselves crit damage, and we hit attack power, which is awesome. You can see as well there's a great success chance of 40%. So every time you hit that node, there's a 40% chance to get 2 points instead of 1. So now again, we're gonna look at these, and we'll have ourselves weapon power. So the bad part about all of these is that we can get ourselves escape expert to +4, which you could, because there is some nodes that you can swap points, could be okay to grab. And then you can see there's a 75% chance to get a free point on weapon power, which we're going to take for now, because this elixir can as well turn into a chestplate elixir, which is going to be a double roll. So it doesn't matter that we can go for this one as well. So we're going to grab it. Boom, we get 2 points, which is pretty cool. But then we see this one right here, and this is future is cost reduction, poison potioning. So we don't care about any of these. So this is a good point in my opinion to use a reroll if you want to. So I'm gonna reroll right here, and we're gonna see, boom, we get ourselves attack power +1, or we get ourselves a great success rate increase of 55%. So I'm just gonna go for the +1 for now, and hopefully not hit that 25%, which we do not, luckily. And then see, we're gonna get some more crit damage. Okay, it's pretty bad if it's being spread like this. You kind of want stuff to go into certain places, and as well, we didn't get the most insane options so far, and we'll see it more when we go do it again. But look at that, boom, another +2, and here we have a 50% chance for +2 or 25% for +3. If you like really desperate, you're like, okay, I don't have that many turns left and I need to hit big, I need to gamble for this, you could go for the 25%, but it's generally better to go to 50-50 for +2. But because it's a video, maybe it's hype, we're gonna try 25% for +3. Come on. Nope. So we didn't get it. So it is what it is. More poison potioning. So you can see right now our stuff that we're gonna get is not that great. And once we get to the 3 times left, we will see that we're gonna go ahead and start closing some options. So everything right now seems pretty bad. Like, we are not high in any of these places. So if you just want to say scolds, just go to the next one. Like, it is what it is. Elixirs are all about knowing when to quit, you know. Sometimes it can go well, sometimes it does not. So these 2 right here have 0 good rolls. This one has 0 good rolls as well. So we're going to move on to the next elixir. This one has 1 good roll. So with 1 good roll, you can of course decide what you want to roll. So I'm going to go for my critical order helm. So we're going to go for critical order helm right there, because I still need a double roll, and this one is a pretty good one to try for. So first one is bad, so we're immediately gonna re-roll, which really sucks. And so we're gonna go get ourselves this one right here. It's a 25% chance that we get nothing, because it goes either no, sorry, 33%, because it goes 0, 1, or 2. So let's just hope we at least get a +1. We get a +2. That's good. And then we can see that these are all useless. If they're all useless and we have no reroll, I always go for some pluses, because we can always have the option that we maybe swap some of these around. You can see right here, swap Blessing of Life and Resource Blessing. If this was, for example, Critical Order, we had 3 points in there instead. So we can go for Critical Order +2. Got nothing. It is what it is. Because we're right now getting kind of messed up with where these points are going, I'm going to YOLO the 25%. And if this doesn't hit, I'll probably move on to a new elixir. It doesn't hit, and the next ones are pretty bad as well. We can try it again, just to see what we get, and we get nothing here, so this one's over. So this is how you just go about them. Sadly, you're gonna have a lot of duds in these rolls you're gonna do. So it is what it is, and I know it sucks. I know it sucks, but you're just gonna have to move on. And sometimes you come across this stuff as well, where there's a lot of options already taken. You see helm, chest piece, and shoulders are taken. So I would personally not cut this, because there's a very big chance you're not hitting what you need. But you can of course always try if you want to. Like, we could go for the crit damage pants here. Maybe we get something good, but there's right now literally a 3 out of 5 chance it's gonna hit stuff we don't want at all, never, which is, you know, always pretty bad. But you know, sometimes it works out, sometimes it works out. And if you want to cut them fast, just always look at the pluses and stuff, what happens. So we're going to re-roll this. We don't need any of these. We're going to go ahead and go for the 50% chance. We didn't hit it. If we hit that, would have been really good. But now we are just low, and this will never be a good elixir. So this is what we just do. You just keep on going, and eventually you're gonna get yourself the stuff that you need. It is a tedious progress, guys. It is tedious progress, and as well, it's totally RNG. There's not that much you can do about it besides choosing the right options. Like I said, try to go always for the extra points, and eventually you'll hit big and you go for the good stuff. I still try to cut myself my elixirs pretty often, like every every single week on my mains because, you know, just getting the perfect rolls is very hard. And my Bard has been getting slacked on, so I will definitely go ahead and cut her some more. But, you know, for now, it is what it is. Okay, so that's going to be Elixir. So keep in mind the rolls you need. And, of course, as well, keep in mind the amount of damage increase you're probably missing in your character by not having good Elixirs. But up next, we're going to go talk about stones. Oh, dear, oh, dear. The most hated system, the most annoying system, in my opinion, in the Lost Ark. 10 times worse than Elixir or anything like that because of one reason, that if you buy ability stones, they cost money. And it's actually stupid. You can see right here, if I go ahead and go to tier 4 stone and I want to cut this stone, I have to pay 9 fions. And these things are really annoying to hit as well. So, of course, I want to give you guys some tips and tricks to make sure you are saving money and as well that you're cutting the right ability stones for your classes. First of all, I want to quickly talk about support, and the reason for that is because support doesn't have that many good options. Because if you look over here on like some of these engravings I'm running, the stone effect is more MP recovery, more max MP, more defense. You know, they're really that the only good and useful ones if you care about stone levels are going to be awakening, because you see awakening skill cooldown actually goes down by 6, 7.5, 10.5, and 12%. So actually for a support build, if you're a support main, it's actually worth it to go for a 10-0 stone. And for all the other DPS and stuff, you want to go like a 7-7, 8-7, 9-7, 10-7, whatever it is. But a support can actually go for a 10-0 on only awakening, because you see right there, getting a 12% cooldown reduction on your awakening, which gives you like free meter, is actually gigantically good. Because this increases with the ability, so the effectiveness of the ether. So if you want to go for a double roll, because you're like, I don't want to go for like a 9 or a 10 on awakening alone, you can go and get yourself a 7-7 with drops of ether and awakening instead. So now we know what the support rolls are going to be. What about DPS rolls? Because there's a lot of them. So here we have ourselves another handy dandy cheat sheet that's going to explain this for us. So we can go ahead and put it in our crit rate, our crit hit damage, our ability power additive, like blah 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 blah. You know, so this all shows what we're going to have and how much is going to buff. And of course you can change your engraving if you want to here as well. So we're going to go for some basic ones on this list, and it will show you some more stuff as well. So on the right we have ourselves Grudge, Curse Dull, Hit, Master Key Blunt, and as well Adrenaline. You can see there's already different values for all the same level 2 stones. So this level 2 stones mean that you get a 7 cut on a stone. So if you hit a 7-7 and it will be a Keen Blunt plus Curse Dull, you get this amount of multiplier value on the stone as well. So it's not a big amount of damage difference, but there's going to be some stones that actually going to show quite a bit more. So keep that in mind. So we're going to go ahead and show you right now a few of these stones right here. And you can see that Grudge is actually one of the worst ones. And I know a lot of people in the past cut Grudge stones, but you can see at like, this is a level 10 level, so if you would have a 10, you can see it's like 4.96 versus like a 5.13. And there's some other situations as well where it even goes higher, like Keen Blunt, for example. If you have a high crit rate like 80%, it goes to a 5.42. So actually you can gain like half percentage of damage by just having a different node on the stone, which is kind of interesting. So if we look at other stones as well, there is some more outliers that are a little bit worse. So if you see, for example, Supercharge and All Out Attack are the and Ether Predator as well are one of the worst values together with Grudge. So if you can choose a stone and you're like, oh, I really want to get myself a Supercharge or All Out Attack stone, it's probably actually the worst option you can choose out of this list. There is some other efficiencies you can go with. So for example, you can see that this Precise Dagger is only 0%, and the reason is for crit rate. Because if you're like a low crit rate character, for example, your crit rate is like 50%, then you can see that Precise Dagger actually gets really good efficiency, which is interesting to see. So it depends on what your build is that gives you more efficiency on other stones. You can see some stuff goes down way more as well. Like Keen Blunt, for example, went from one of the best engravings to one of the worst because it's now 4.26. So make sure that you know what your build is, and then you can adjust on that. But I will assist that I assume that most classes at this time in the game have around a 70 to 80% crit rate, and all these other stuff is just going to leave basic. So you can see right here that some stones are better than other ones, so keep that in mind. Okay, right now we are on our Slayer, and we have some stones that we get randomly from raid. So we're going to go ahead and cut one together with you guys as well, because a lot of people are like, what do I do? When do I press A, B, C, D? And I am getting overwhelmed with my choices. So if you don't want to cut on feeling, because of course you could just do this, you could be like, okay, I'm just gonna cut this, cut this, cut this, you know, oh, maybe one there, maybe one here, you know, okay, then this one sucks, this one sucks, like this system sucks, you know, like we're just gonna put like, you know, blah, 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 blah. If you want to do it like that, it's fine. You're probably gonna have a lower chance of cutting something correctly, but I know a lot of people are kind of fed up with calculators at this point in time. So you know, if you just want to follow your own gut and be like, okay, I can cut a stone perfectly, then do that 100%. But if you are like, I want to, you know, statistically have the best chance of cutting a stone, then you're going to use this tool right here, the Lost Ark Ability Stone Calculator. Just search Google Lost Ark Ability Stone Calculator. This will be the first option on your list. Just click it and you should be good to go. So in here, you can choose what kind of stone you want to go for. You want to go for a 9-7, for example, with 4 reds maximum. It's going to be a 0.07% chance of hitting it, which is of course very rare. But in my opinion, this is not really correct, because you technically want to always start with the same stone. So the chance of you getting a good stone is normally this. So it's a 0.24% chance, because if you go for this setup, which is going to be a 2-2-1 negative hit, you will probably be at a good pace to get started with a good stone. Like in my opinion, if you don't hit these 3 at the start and you hit one non-red, you probably have a bad stone. So if we go back to the game right now, we're gonna see if we can get that going. So we're gonna go 1 1 1 and then a red negative. There we go. This is the perfect start. So we now of course upped our chances by a ton already. And now, of course, the calculator is just going to show you what you should do. It's going to show your chances of hitting it. It's going to show your best options, what you should go for. And then it will be awesome. So it's going to say that I should do the second row now. Okay, hit it in the second row. Boom, we did hit it, which is beautiful. That we should hit the red one next. Yes, because normally in these stone calculators, if you're below 50% chance, you should hit the red. So let's see. We are lucky. Hit another dud. It's gonna say it's gonna go for this one again, but we did this time hit a dud. Hit a dud. It's probably gonna go put us at the top. Like, I've caught like thousands of stones, by the way, guys, so I know how the system works. But now it's gonna put us at the top because we're a 65% chance, because that needs to be a 9. So it really wants us to put as much probability in there as possible. We did hit it. Then it's gonna say bottom again. But now it's a bit different. So now you can see the situation is going to be a little bit different, because now the calculator sees is that, okay, you cannot get any more duds on the second row. And you can actually get a dot at the top one, because a 9 is 1 less than the 10. So now it's going to prioritize even the 65% on the second row. So let's do that. So let's hit the 65, and we did break it. So that means that our 9-7 dream is over, and we move on to the next stone. So it shows that both systems are just actually a lot of luck. Of course, we have some calculators to try and alleviate the pressure, hopefully make the right choices, but you know, eventually it's mainly just up to the game to be like, oh yes, you're gonna get that hit, or no, you're not gonna get it. And it is what it is. So there we have it, guys. It's gonna be elixirs with all the numbers behind it. It's gonna be the stones with all the numbers behind it, and hopefully this is gonna help you out and probably cut yourself a few more stones and make the right choices in elixirs to make yourself some nice 5-5s as well. If you guys did enjoy, I would highly appreciate a like down below, guys. Subscribe if you're new. If you need any more information or help, come join me on Twitch.tv/ImDefild. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys again in 2 days for another video.